Cody Rhodes beats Seth Rollins inside the cell with a torn pec. Bianca Belair retains the Raw Championship. And Kevin Owens beats Ezekiel. Let's go.
Start.
Dude, there, tore my pec.
Did you tear your pec? Indeed. Sup.
Evil.
Yes. Hey, what's up, everybody? WWE Hell in a Cell in the books. How do we feel about it? No Johnny tonight, just so everybody knows. I know people are going to say, where's Johnny? Where's Johnny? He's not here. He couldn't be here tonight. He's all right. He just had to work on his shoot job, you know? Y'all got to pay the bills somehow, brother. We are here.
Simon Brothers.
It is just past 11 o'clock Eastern time.
Thanks.
And, that's when I want to start the show. Just past 11 o'clock Eastern time. WWE got the show in about 3 hours. And that's how you do a pay-per-view, my friends. That's how you do it. Wasn't the best pay-per-view. I didn't think that they had the best matches top to bottom. Not much happened. Nothing really advanced story-wise. No title changes. No changes to anything, really. But it was under 3 hours. We had a couple of very good matches. I didn't hate it. And I know last week we were not too happy with AEW Double or Nothing because it was a marathon. We had some good matches. We had some not-so-good matches. But I have to say, I think that this was slightly better than Double or Nothing, just based on the strength of that Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins match. We were talking about Double or Nothing last week, and we were saying, we had some good matches, we had some not-so-good matches. There was some good stuff, but it was just too much. Tonight we didn't have that much, but I asked Johnny last week, was there anything that was match of the year for you at Double or Nothing? Was there anything that was in the conversation for match of the year at Double or Nothing? And we really couldn't come up with any one match that was, blow you away great.
No, I had overwhelmingly negative feelings towards Double or Nothing.
Right.
I gave it a 2 on 10.
Yeah. And we had some good matches on the show, but nothing that stands out to me now, a week removed. I can't come up with one. But tonight, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins delivered a match that could be in the conversation for match of the year in 2022. It was that good.
Yeah, it was a highly impressive match. The opener was also a great match, too. I really liked the triple threat.
Yeah.
And when you bookend the show with two really good matches, and you have some decent to strong matches in the interim in between, it comes up with a decent pay-per-view. I'd say this was maybe like a 6.5 for me.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Hey-o.
6.5 on 10. That's what I'm giving it. That's what my brother's giving it. We're giving it a 6.5 on 10. That's what I think it deserves.
I was expecting to be a lot more disappointed.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I wasn't super pleasantly surprised.
Mm-mm.
But the low points weren't as low.
They were mostly in the middle of the show. It opened strong and it finished strong. There were some bumps in the road, but overall, when you open strong and you finish strong, especially as strong as they opened and finished, you're doing all right. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins had an incredible match, enhanced by Cody's injury. Of course, Cody coming out tonight looking rough. I want to give you a shot of Cody's pec, which was just vicious tonight. If you didn't see the show, Cody Rhodes coming out with a torn pec, and his chest was purple, looking terrible.
From the get-go.
There's the Codester. This is what Cody looked like tonight at WWE Hell in a Cell. This is what Cody Rhodes looked like Look at that chest and arm. And he wrestled the whole match looking like this, which is kind of amazing. And he wrestled a hell of a match, and he took a lot. He did a lot. He took the stairs. When he took the stair shot, you know, Seth has the steel steps, and he runs him into Cody, and Cody goes to take him, but doesn't take him on his right side for some reason. Took it on his left side where he's all bruised and beaten.
Also, I believe Cody was on the apron, and he got, like, bumped off the apron, and I think he bumped into the cage, I think, on his bad side as well.
Cody took a lot of stuff on that pec. No.
He could have tried to rotate, but he decided to go for the full effect.
Incredible performance from Cody Rhodes and from Seth Rollins tonight. Great match. I want to give a shout-out to the members. Anthony Plesia in the chat tonight. Doug Hepburn. Angelo Contagones. Harold Schneider dropping a super chat. $8 super chat. He gives it a 6.5 on 10. I like purple and all, but that looked painful, Harold says. Yeah, I like purple too. It's a good color. Strong color. Underrated color, purple. I think it's good. But yeah, on the chest, not so much. That was pretty brutal. Looked rough. Harold giving the show a 6.5 on 10. The Simon brothers, unanimous with a 6.5 on 10 for Hell in a Cell. Doug Hepburn, our man out in Kingston, Ontario, giving it a 6 on 10. He says Kevin is always fun, and Cody Rollins were my favorite parts. Yeah, Kevin getting the win, too, which we'll talk about. Kind of a surprise. Ryan Katz giving it a 7 on 10. What about everybody else? How do we see this pay-per-view on 10? Give me your rankings in the chat. Angelo, did you watch the pay-per-view? I know my man Lauren did not watch the pay-per-view. I don't know who was watching this pay-per-view, who wasn't. Going into it, didn't give you a lot of reason. On paper, you know, I was asked before the pay-per-view this afternoon on Twitter, is this pay-per-view worth watching? And usually I will say, yeah, there's this match, there's that match. But this time I was like, yeah, I don't know. Not really. It's a glorified house show. They've got a Hell in a Cell match. But overall, it's really nothing. It's kind of a nothing show. It's basically a Raw house show. There was one SmackDown match on this whole card. 7 matches, one of them SmackDown, and it was the Moss and Corbin match.
Which was unnecessary.
Which was just not. And it wasn't very good. You know, it really wasn't very good.
A couple nice bumps,
dragged.
But it was way too long.
Yeah.
How long was that match?
12 minutes.
Ay, oy.
Yeah. But overall, I thought the pay-per-view was pretty good because Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Becky Lynch had a very good match. 18 minutes, 55 seconds. I mean, almost 20 minutes here in the triple threat opener, which is great. They got a lot of time. They had a really good match, and you figured Bianca was going to win, but the Becky Lynch and Asuka at times made me believe that they were going to win. Mm-hmm. And the whole point in one of those matches is to make you believe, even if you are convinced, right? Even if you're convinced that Bianca's going to win, especially in a spot where they kind of figure, okay, everybody thinks Bianca's going to win. You figure, you know, you got to find a way to make you believe that Asuka or Becky has a shot in the match, and you have to do that during the match. And they did a great job of doing that. Mm-hmm. There were times when Becky hit that rock bottom, and I was like, oh, is this it? It looked, you know, she hit it on... I think she hit it on Asuka, and then Bianca just came out of nowhere. I think she might have hit it on Bianca. Like, there were moments where I thought, oh, maybe they're going to give it back to Becky here. And there was even a couple moments where I thought, maybe Asuka's going to win here.
She, like, at one point she kind of, like, lost the grip of the Asuka lock, but then she got it back on, and usually that's a signifier. And also the camera placement. Usually WWE and the camera placement, you know, usually deters from the match. It takes away from the match. But there were a lot of times where, like, the camera was placed after a spot where you're like, wait a second, that looks like, you know, where...
The finish camera.
The finish camera.
Yeah.
So to speak.
The money shot, as Val Venus would say. Right?
Yeah. But, like, you know, like, it helped make you believe. Yankees. Oh.
Doug Hepburn saying Yankees stink, go Tigers. I think the Yankees swept the Tigers. Did they not, Doug?
Yeah, the standings do not reflect that.
Yeah, I don't know about that,
the Tigers are kind of stinking.
I think the Yankees are the best team in baseball, and the Tigers, I don't know how good they are. I don't know how they're doing because who cares?
They're in
Yankees,
a long rebuild.
I don't care how they're doing. The Yankees just, swept them, so I don't really care, Doug. But thanks for the super chat. Yankees beat the Tigers today. I was watching them beat up on the Tigers. It was real good, real easy.
Josh Donaldson with the walk-off sack fly.
Loved it. I really like the opener. Doug Hepburn gives it a 6 on 10. Matthew Henley a 5.5 on 10. Anthony Plesia 6 on 10. He says 6 on 10 for me, but having booked a great beginning and ending match can push it to the 6.5 for me, like the Simons. Yeah, there you go. Great opener. Great pay-per-view. Great pay-per-view. I mean, great opener and great main event. You get a good pay-per-view. A lot of kind of riff-raff stuff in between, but when it's only a 3-hour show, it doesn't hurt so bad, But that Cody match was just incredible. The fact that he wrestled with a torn pec. Seth wearing the polka dots, even. He comes out with the polka dots.
Head games.
Seth got a massive pop, probably biggest pop of the night, when he pulled out the table.
Yeah.
The fans were chanting, "We want tables," during the Moss and Corbin street fight. I don't think they ever got a table.
No, the fans were trying. Right? We thought that was kind of piped in.
Yeah, it seemed fake.
But I guess not.
I guess they really did want tables because when Seth got a table, pulled it out from under the ring and put it in the ring, the fans went nuts, and they they went on their feet, and you could see them on their feet. It wasn't fake on their feet. It wasn't like a shot from some other arena. And there was a "Thank you, Rollins" chant. They were that pumped about the table. Cody taking everything. Seth exploding through that table, too, by the way. That
on the frog splash?
The frog splash from the top.
Beautiful.
He had so much velocity going through the table. It was incredible. And then Cody gets the bull rope. The Hell in a Cell match turned into a bull rope match. Cody nailing Seth in the head with the cowbell. Punk right on the head. That was great. I love that. I pop big time for that. You don't see guys get hit in the head with metal objects too often in WWE. So I like that Cody was able to do that in a Hell in a Cell match. It just makes sense to me. If you have a metal object and you have a guy, wouldn't you hit him in the head with it? I know, like, concussions and everything, but, well, don't get a metal object. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets a chair, and they're like, "Could you turn around, sir, so I can hit you safely in the back?" It's like, well,
please bend over.
Crack him in the head and have him put his hands up. I don't know. I like when people get hit in the head once in a while because it makes sense. Makes sense you'd want to hit somebody in the head. Don't do it all the time. Don't be Mick Foley and The Rock at the Royal Rumble with, a million chair shots, but, once in a while, getting hit in the head is not going to kill you. It's not. People get hit in the head all the time. Does it hurt? Yeah. Does it cause damage? Probably. But a lot of shit causes brain damage, man. Life is brain damaged, I don't know. Am I wrong?
Life is...
Well, I don't know. Eventually, your brain just deteriorates anyway, so who cares? Enjoy it while you got it. Right? Shit. I'm not saying get concussions. I'm just saying once in a while get hit in the head. It's not going to kill you.
Triple H, when he would use a sledgehammer, he'd kind of put his hand on the hammer and he would kind of go for the head, wouldn't he? He'd do headshots, but he'd kind of put his hand, he clearly put his hand there.
Yeah, but once in a while he'd take a chair to the head, and it's part of the business.
Or they got fined. I think it was WrestleMania 27, I think.
Maybe.
Triple H hit Taker, I think, in the head with a chair. And I think they legit got fined.
I mean, whatever. They can afford it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Triple H, Cody hit a pedigree for a 2 count. A lot of Triple H references here, right? Because in the promo, Seth on Raw talked about how Cody broke the throne and hammered with the sledgehammer and all that stuff, and Seth has used the pedigree as a finisher in the past, and Cody has talked about Triple H a lot, and Cody hit a pedigree in the match and even finished the match, not with his own finisher, the Crossroads, but shot with the sledgehammer to the head of Seth for the pinfall. He hit a Crossroads, then another Crossroads, and it looked like, okay, 3 Crossroads, 1, 2, 3, but he dropped him and the crowd kind of booed, and they're like, what's going on here? And then he grabbed the sledgehammer and hit him with the sledgehammer, and then 1, 2, 3. I thought that was cool. I liked the, homages to Triple H in the match. There's obviously a lot of history there with Cody and what he did in AEW and Triple H and all this stuff. And, of course, Seth and Triple H have a history. It was cool that that's how this match played out, Triple H was able to finish a match with a torn quad, and here's Cody with a torn pec.
That's true. It's a good comparison. Never thought of that.
Showing that he's real old school brother tough, just like Triple H was.
Yeah.
It was badass.
I'm still getting used to, like, homages to Triple H and Triple H being this, like, figure of the past, Like, for so long he was so present, and he was so dominant and omnipresent, in wrestling. And now it's just like, Triple H, he's far away, and people just do tributes and, his moves and stuff. Like, I'm still getting used to that.
Yeah, he's like a historical figure in wrestling now.
Yeah. For a while, it was just like, the guy, yeah.
He still feels like a contemporary guy that's always been around and is still around.
He'll come back from Mania.
Yeah.
Hit the pedigree and the spine buster, split the one. But no, Triple H that act is over.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird for me, who's kind of lived most of my life watching Triple H, and now it's like, oh no, he's not around anymore. All you get is like, the younger guys paying tribute to him.
Yeah, doing like, the spine buster, or the face buster, or bringing out a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
The pedigree. It's just the iconography of Triple H. It's interesting.
Hunter.
Exactly. Is that.
But really, great match. And honestly, you look at 2022, this was one of the best matches all year.
So far, easily.
I hope Cody's not too hurt. I did see a tweet from, what's his name? Matthew Ruhold, I think his name. What's his name? Matthew Raywold. You may know him as Drama King Matt or Aiden English.
Oh,
okay. Aiden English. And this is what he tweeted out earlier while watching the Cody match. He says, pec tears are weird. I had a partial pec tear 6 years ago and took 1 week out of action and was able to keep wrestling. I've never gotten surgery on it, even though maybe I should have, but I was able to and still wrestle on it today. Don't know if that's Cody's case, though. So, like, Cody wrestled on it, and it's obviously an injury. You don't get a bruise like that without legit having an injury or a pec tear. Something's going on. But the fact that the WWE medical team cleared him, and they do have pretty stringent policies as far as clearing their wrestlers nowadays. It's not like the old days where if you can walk, you can wrestle. It's not like that anymore. No. So the fact that Cody was able to go out and wrestle tonight makes you wonder, like, does he need surgery? And if he does need surgery, how long is he going to be out for? Like, I'm not sure what this means as far as the future of Cody. I'm sure, one of the people like Meltzer or the Saps will come out and give us the information at some point. But, I'm not convinced that this was a serious injury for Cody. It looked really bad, but if it was really, really bad, they wouldn't have let him wrestle. Like, it was weird because you almost didn't believe that he was hurt at first, because how could they let him wrestle if he's that hurt? I mean, it looked awful, Sure. So you kind of wonder, like, how are they letting him wrestle? But if they are letting him wrestle, it can't be that bad. It just doesn't make any sense.
So Aiden English there said he had a partial pec tear?
Yeah.
And they were saying, WWE was saying that Cody suffered a full-on, like, pec tear, said like it got torn off the bone. Now, they could be embellishing that. They like to do that. Maybe Cody has a partial pec tear, and WWE was saying, it was like a full-on tear, like, to make it seem more dramatic, and, like, how can he wrestle?
Yeah.
For dramatic effect. They can do that. It's not unethical to say that.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a partial pec tear, and, but
WWE is just making it seem worse than it is.
It looked like a legit
Still
bruise,
bad,
though. Like, it looked rough.
He can compete.
Well, I mean, he wrestled
passed.
tonight. I mean, look at all the stuff he did tonight. He did a lot tonight.
Yeah, he did.
You know?
He didn't really use it though that much though.
He stayed off it for the most part. Yeah.
He's a good salesman, but he didn't really do any moves that required lifting Cody up, I don't believe. Or I mean Seth.
Yeah.
Even when he tried to do that kind of last ride power bomb, from the corner, they didn't complete the spot. They had him let Seth go.
Yeah.
Because he was too weak.
At one point, Seth was kind of pushing Cody into the fence, and Cody had his bad arm up. I guess it was his right arm, right? I think I was saying his left, but it was his right arm.
Right.
Yeah. So he had his arm up like this, and it was up and stretching out, and it to me, if your pec is torn here and your arm is all bruised up here, you don't want to have your arm up like this. But I don't know. I've never torn my pec, so I'm not really sure. Yeah. It's really, it's unclear.
And also, a lot of times in wrestling, if we had that torn pec and we'd probably have a very strong reaction just to go like this. We'd we'd swear.
Yeah, Cody's super tough.
Yeah, so Cody will just be he'll grimace, or maybe. The camera won't catch it. You won't hear Cody go, God damn it!
I mean, you look at the way he moves in the ring. You look at what he's able to put his body through. He's a legit athlete.
Yeah, it's admirable.
Angelo with a good question. How does one tear a pec? I don't know. I think you have to have big pec muscles to start with, possibly. But I think you just kind of stretch out in the wrong way, and
it can happen.
It can happen, man. You just get stretched. I mean.
Yeah, say you do a bow and arrow and you go like this really hard, really fast.
Yeah, you can tear a pec shooting a bow and arrow. It happens. How do you tear a groin? How do you tear, It's a muscle and you move in a way and something happens, you get stretched and you tear your pec. It's never happened to me, thank God, but I could see how it might. Doug Hepburn says, Dave, I made a bet with some of your picks for UFC yesterday, made $40. St. Denis, Kovalkiewicz, Osborne, and Volkov all winning. The Team Dave parlay, I gave you a 5-fight parlay yesterday for the UFC, came through again. Gave you Karolina Kovalkiewicz as my underdog pick and underdog pick of the night. She was Patrick Hamilton asked me, how do I make money on this card? And I said, well, bet on Karolina. She's the underdog. She's going to win. And she came through with a submission victory. So, once again, you're winning money with the Ringside Report MMA boys. Fred's parlay also won. Brad Zaglin says, did you just tear your pec? Looks like that was the first time you stretched it. You be careful, Brad, or I'll go over there and I'll stretch you. All right? Yeah. Take it easy. Easy who you're talking to there, buddy. I could stretch all sorts. I could stretch all sorts of things. Don't make me show you.
Yeah,
don't make me show you.
He's quite flexible.
Yeah, don't make me show you.
I can attest to this.
Yeah, take it easy. What's this guy? Bianca and Becky and Asuka opening up the pay-per-view really, really well. Excellent stuff. Bianca getting the win. Lots of false finishes. Becky hits the rock bottom on Asuka. Bianca tosses Becky out of the ring. Steals the pinfall 1-2-3 on Asuka. And I really wonder where they go from here. I know tonight was supposed to be Bianca Belair versus Naomi, right? Yeah. And we were supposed to get Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks, were we not?
Suppose so.
And we didn't even get a Ronda Rousey match. I know that Natty is the #1 contender. She won a 6-pack challenge on SmackDown on Friday night to earn a shot at Ronda. Not sure why they didn't do that match tonight at Hell in a Cell. Maybe they're saving it for SmackDown. But we didn't get a Ronda Rousey match. Naomi and Sasha Banks still missing in action. And I wonder where they go from here with Bianca Belair. She beats Becky and Asuka. I'd like to see her move on from Becky and Asuka for the time being and maybe start something with Rhea Ripley, the House of Edge. I think they could be a real threat to Bianca Belair. Maybe she gets the Street Profits to back her up in six-person tags against the House of Edge.
Makes a lot of sense. They weren't on the card either tonight. A lot of people off the card.
Street Profits not on the card.
RK Bro.
Yeah. Randy's got an injury. He's really just taking time off. He's not actually hurt.
He's chilling on the beach.
Bobby Lashley was on this card. He beat MVP and Omos, put the Hurt Lock submission on MVP to get the win after Cedric Alexander came out and interfered and attacked Omos. Not sure why Cedric was allowed to do that, but, whatever. Didn't really care. That match was...
That's a low point.
Yeah,
I think that's probably my least favorite match of the night.
Yeah, mine too. Well... Yeah, Moss and Corbin.
They had a couple spots with, like, the stairs or something. It was, like... It had a little bit more going for it.
Yeah.
This one was just nothing. And also, having MVP involved in the finish just kind of takes away everything from it.
I'm just over this whole Omos, Bobby Lashley thing. And hasn't Bobby Lashley won?
He beat Omos at Mania.
And didn't he beat him at Mania Backlash,
easily.
too?
I think so.
I feel like Bobby is winning all the matches.
And he should.
Should he?
I mean...
Oh, no. Omos beat Bobby at Backlash.
Oh, maybe MVP helped or something?
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. I just don't care. I don't think anybody really cares about Bobby and Omos and MVP. It's not a very interesting feud. Bobby wins tonight, but I think it's probably going to continue.
Because they got nothing else?
What else are you going to do with it? They really, there's nothing going on with those guys. Just stepping back to the Cody and Seth thing, do you think it's a good move that Cody won 3 in a row over Seth?
I feel like Seth should have won one.
Maybe the Backlash one.
Yeah. I mean, I get that you want to push Cody and make him, like, if rumors are true and, like, they're setting him up to be a potential challenger for Roman Reigns, you do want to make him as invincible as you can. But, I mean, Seth is an interesting asset that they have. Like, he can lose a lot, but he still has a pretty high position on the card.
Yeah.
The audience never really perceives him as, like, weak or a loser.
Yeah.
They're always like, oh, Seth Rollins, well, maybe he'll be the champion, or maybe he'll win the Rumble. Like, people are never like, oh, Seth, he's got no chance.
I have no problem with Cody being the guy to beat Seth 3 times here because it doesn't really make me think less of Seth. It just makes me think, oh, well, Cody's just really strong, and he can beat Seth, and Seth can't beat him. It doesn't mean Seth can't beat, like, everybody else on the Raw roster. He just can't beat Cody. But tonight, Cody coming in looking so beat up, so injured. You would think if you were going to give one to Seth, this would be the time. And the fact that they didn't either tells you a lot about how they view Seth, tells you a lot about how they view Cody, or both. Like, either they just don't think Seth is that highly ranked in their pecking order, and he's not a megastar. He's just a guy that they use to put people over, which is possible. Or they just say, look, Seth is a guy that we're going to use here because we really have something for Cody. We really want to make Cody look like a star. Because normally, if you were trying to keep things somewhat even, which WWE usually does, Seth would have won one of these matches, right? The fact that he didn't win any of these matches,
won the one in the middle.
Like, it makes you think either they have nothing for Seth, they think Seth is whatever, or they like really want to push Cody. But I'm not sure which one it is,
because they're both quite
and
plausible.
it could be both, but it could just be one or the other.
The latter.
They just
feel
really
like
want to push
they want
Cody.
to really establish Cody, and Seth has that value that he can lose and still kind of come back strong afterwards and not, seem too haunted by it. And that's a really valuable thing for the WWE, like to have a guy like that, where you don't have to have him win every single match to keep him. I mean, Seth Rollins has won a lot of matches in his career. He's been pushed quite strongly. But this is the kind of benefits of that, is that you can have him still in the main event picture. Yeah. But he could take some clean losses, even 3 in a row. But he might win Money in the Bank.
Well, there's Acme Tunes. He just said that. He says, Seth could win Money in the Bank and be fine. Wins and losses don't matter in WWE. That's true. Seth could easily go win Money in the Bank and say, ha, 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 Cody. You may have beat me, but I'm going to be the next champion, and you came here to be champion, but you'll never be champion just like your dad because you suck, Cody, and here I am with the Money in the Bank. Like, that could very well happen. You said it. Acme Tunes just said it there in the chat. Doug Hepburn says Cody was a good signing for the E. I agree. I think it was a great signing for WWE. Matthew Henley says, when will Cody wrestle Reigns? I think after WrestleMania. Personally, I would keep this world title, the double championship, on Roman Reigns until WrestleMania, where he will wrestle The Rock. He should beat The Rock. And then after that, maybe embark on a feud with Cody where you then have Cody take the belts from Roman. I would not do it until next year. So I would keep Cody and Roman away from each other until at least, April, May of 2023. That's how I would do it, but hey, you never know.
Might be a Survivor Series.
Yeah, it could be a Survivor Series and Roman could just beat him, but who knows? Ryan Katz says he tore it lifting weights, apparently. That's possible. That is a way that you could tear your pec. AJ in the house as well. What's up, AJ? AJ, the only guy on the Ringside Report MMA squad who gave you a losing parlay on Thursday. My parlay was good. Fred's parlay was good. We both hit 5-fight parlays. AJ's parlay was the only loser, unfortunately.
You win some, you lose.
We win some. Freddie and Dave win some. AJ loses some, I'm just kidding with AJ. AJ is a genius of fighting. He knows what he's talking about. And like he says, add a like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, if you are a new viewer here tonight, subscribe to the channel. And if you want, join. Join as well. Join.ringsidereport.net. We got a bunch of members. If you're a member, you can call in. You can join the show whenever you want. Talk to us. Give us your thoughts. Angelo Contagonis, Doug Hepburn, members of the team rocking with us here tonight. Harold Schneider, Anthony Plesia. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the Ringside Report Network. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel was a pleasant surprise. The match wasn't much of anything. It ended in 9 minutes, 20 seconds, but Kevin Owens won, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like that he won. Kevin Owens hitting the stunner on Ezekiel. I thought, here's Ezekiel. WWE's going to try and make something out of Ezekiel.
Sacrifice
Even
Kevin.
though Kevin Owens, main evented WrestleMania, wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin at Mania this year. It just didn't feel like they were going anywhere with Kevin. And now all of a sudden, he wins. Stunner, 1, 2, 3, beats Ezekiel. I was pleasantly surprised to see Kevin Owens win. Again, the match was nothing special. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything I'd call good. It's not like you need to see it. If somebody said, what should I watch at Hell in a Cell? I'd say, watch the Cody match and watch the Bianca match. And then everything else you could skip.
For all his posturing that he's not Elias, Ezekiel sure wrestles like him.
Yeah.
That kind of slow.
I mean, he also looks like him. He's also the same man.
I know, but
I mean,
if Ezekiel wrestled, a little bit more impressive, like if he did, not a moonsault, but just he was like a better technical wrestler or something, I would maybe say, hey, maybe they're different people.
His name is Jeffrey Daniel Sciullo.
Sciullo.
I guess he's Italian. Jeffrey Daniel Sciullo. That's who he is. He's Elias. He's Ezekiel. He's Jeffrey Daniel Sciullo. Okay? I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. Is he Elias? Is he Ezekiel? Is Wikipedia the guy? Wikipedia Ezekiel wrestler? And they'll be like, oh, he's a guy. He currently performs under the name Elias. It's like, no, he doesn't. It's actually Ezekiel. But, Wikipedia doesn't even care.
Doesn't matter.
Even Wikipedia is like, no, he's Elias. Wikipedia signs with Kevin Owens. Jeffrey Daniel Sciullo lost to Kevin Owens, which is good because the Ezekiel character is a joke character and the Kevin Owens character is a potential main event level character. So that makes sense to me. Good on him for doing that. Mm-hmm. And then we had this long match between the Judgment Day, Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. Got the win over Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan. It was a 6-person tag. It wasn't that great. It was just an unremarkable match. It happened. It dragged. Edge hit a spear on Finn and pinned him.
Yeah, just lack of chemistry. Nobody had chemistry with anybody. Like AJ didn't really feel part of the match. He was just, I don't know. I don't remember him really doing anything.
He seemed absent. There was a lot of Finn and a lot of Liv Morgan, but not a lot of AJ Styles, which is a problem. You know, I don't know if he's hurt or whatever, but he's the guy you want to see. Edge right now is just
so disappointing because it's Edge.
Just the entrance, the gear,
His
everything.
hair?
I just don't like any of it.
I don't know what's up with his hair. He used to have really cool hair, and then like he had that.
He used to have a cool entrance.
Weird hair.
He used to have a cool entrance and cool music and cool ring gear, and now he comes out looking like a TNA Undertaker. It's just terrible. It looks like it doesn't belong in WWE.
Yeah.
It looks like this is a group that belongs in TNA Wrestling in 2010, and for some reason, this is what Edge wants to do now. And he's got this TNA, like, second in Damian Priest, who's just there making goofy faces, making goofy promos. Rhea Ripley making all these goofy faces now, too. Ooh, I mean,
This is your time of destruction.
What the hell does that mean? It's so dumb. It's so goofy. Ugh. And they won, of course, because they're a team and they're trying to get them over as a faction, but it's just awful. I'm sure there's some people out there that like this. I don't know why. They think Edge is like a good actor or something. Maybe they've never seen, like Al Pacino or, I don't understand. Oh, this Edge is a good actor. Have you ever heard of this guy, Al Pacino? He's quite a bit better. I've never heard of this man. Who's he ever beat? Well, here's the thing.
I mean, yeah, he beat Don Barzini.
Yeah, there you go.
Mo Green.
He beat him. He beat all those suckers. Jeez. So that match happened. It wasn't my favorite. Madcap Moss beat Happy Corbin. The fallaway slam into the stairs, and then the punchline finisher, and then he wrapped Corbin's head into a chair and smashed the chair with stairs for the 1-2-3. Really overkill on the finish. The fallaway slam into the stairs was enough for me. That was pretty good. That was the best thing they did all match. But not a great match, And then Austin Theory beat Mustafa Ali to retain the U.S. title. Hit his ATL down finisher for the 1-2-3 there. Mustafa got a pretty decent pop in his hometown of Chicago tonight, but the match just kind of felt flat. Everything in the middle of this pay-per-view was kind of weak. Lashley against MVP and Omos, Kevin and Ezekiel, House of Edge versus Finn, AJ, and Liv, Madcap and Corbin, Theory and Mustafa. It was kind of like, all right. But then the main event was one of the best matches you'll see all year, and the opening match was very, very good. 6.5 on 10 for me. Although when I start to remember the middle of this pay-per-view, I'm like, like the middle was pretty bad. Like, it wasn't that it was bad. It's just that the stories didn't really advance. This is just a rematches. Like, I feel like Kevin and Ezekiel have wrestled before, but maybe not. Maybe in tags, or it was Gable with Kevin on the outside or something. Like, they've just done a combination of this. And the Edge and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, I feel like Rhea has wrestled Liv, and Damian Priest has wrestled Finn, and AJ's wrestled Edge, and they've done tag matches and combinations. So by the time they got to this, I was like, yeah, I've already seen this, and Edge and AJ have been wrestling since WrestleMania. Like, it's just kind of played out at this point. The Kevin Owens and Ezekiel thing, they showed a promo, and it was like 2 months ago. This is when this started.
Yeah.
And it's like, God damn. It's all been dragging. Lashley and Omos wrestled at Mania. They wrestled at Backlash. Now they're wrestling again. How many of these matches were rematches or just kind of recycled concepts that they just slapped together again? Like, maybe we haven't seen Kevin versus Ezekiel one-on-one, but man, have they done a lot of this stuff before. And
six-man tags,
maybe we haven't seen Edge and his squad against Finn and AJ and Liv, but they've done a lot of things close to it, and I feel like they have done that on Raw maybe, but I guess Edge doesn't wrestle on Raw. But, Madcap and Corbin, I know we've seen that many, many times before. Lashley and Omos, like I said, I mean, even Bianca and Becky, at this point, they threw in Asuka to make it a little fresher, and the match was really, really good, but it's kind of rehashed stuff. And then you have Austin Theory and Mustafa. Again, they've been doing this kind of same thing, dancing around each other on Raw for so long. And then Cody and Seth, of course, this was the third match in a trilogy that Cody was 2-0 in, and now, even with a torn pec, is 3-0. So it's just booking-wise, it's kind of like, but the talent itself is very good, and they show up, and they deliver. So it's not like the matches, even in the middle, were particularly bad. It's just that you don't care about them because it's all leftover stuff that you're just tired of at this point because you've seen it for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Roster's awful thin. All the releases and
yeah.
Also just so many people just not on the show.
It's not a thin roster, though.
I mean, it's not
a thin roster.
But the show
they just don't use
wouldn't
it
necessarily
right.
be improved. Like, say the Street Profits and the Usos wrestled. Would it make it a better show?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I would have liked to see the Usos, but
if the Usos wrestled Finn and AJ, it would have been a better show.
I agree.
Just use your talent better. Like, the talent's there, just, use it a little better.
Rhea
stop giving
in
us
the women's
Corbin.
title match to make it a four-way.
Stop giving us Corbin and Moss.
Yeah.
Like, stop doing that. It's ridiculous. Stop giving us Corbin and Moss.
Yeah.
But just stop giving us Corbin versus Moss.
Yeah.
Stop giving us Edge and AJ Styles because we didn't care at WrestleMania. We really don't care now.
Yeah, now we hate it.
And it was kind of cool that Finn and AJ were coming together as two Bullet Club leaders, now a tag team in WWE. It was cool for about a week. And then Liv Morgan joined, and then they jobbed to Edge and his jabroni crew.
Yeah, just took any mystique out of it.
It was like, oh, Finn and AJ, cool. Oh, too sweet. Oh, cool. And then it's like, oh, not cool anymore. What? Liv Morgan? Oh, okay.
Liv Morgan.
Stop doing Bobby Lashley and Omos. It's enough. And I swear to God, if I see this stuff continue on Raw, I'm going to be really displeased. I'm not going to be happy with this. If they do Lashley and Omos story continuing on Raw tomorrow night, it's going to be like, God damn, man. Kevin Owens and Ezekiel, it's probably going to continue. Moss and Corbin, it's probably not over. Theory and Mustafa is probably not over either. Edge against Finn and AJ and Liv is probably not over either. Nothing ends. And that's the problem with this WWE stuff. It's like they do a really good job of just giving you matches and having nothing happen, and we don't progress and we go nowhere.
I have a feeling, actually, that they are going to continue Bobby and Omos. Because something tells me that, Bobby's probably one of the few people they feel comfortable having Omos in the ring with. Because he's kind of big, so, it's not too dangerous. And also, you got to have a chance to have MVP involved a lot in the match so he can help coach Omos at the same time. And so I don't think we're anywhere near done with that, unfortunately. Because it's just a long training exercise.
Yeah, they're just helping Omos become a wrestler, which is not working.
Yeah, but
so
hopefully we're done with some of the feuds, but I feel feeling Bobby and Omos is just going to keep going out of a necessity to keep Omos, training with someone they feel comfortable with.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, and
none of it is good.
It's not
just
good
that
for producing a television show.
Well, they gotta move the story along a little bit. We gotta keep it moving, and nothing's been moving. It's been stagnant since Mania, and it's not like they were, before Mania they were doing this stuff. Then they did it at Mania, and now they're still doing it. When do we get into the SummerSlam build already? I know they got Money in the Bank coming up, and that's the next one in July.
Mm-hmm.
Money in the Bank is in July, and it's the same night as a big UFC pay-per-view. So we'll see how much we cover Money in the Bank. UFC 276 is the same night. And they got Israel Adesanya fighting, and he's one of my favorite fighters, so I'm probably going to watch him. He'll be fighting way after Money in the Bank ends, I'm hoping. Money in the Bank could end at 11, and the UFC pay-per-view starts at 10, so, But we're definitely going to be doing a watch-along for the UFC pay-per-view that'll start at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on July the 2nd.
Oh, Misha Tate's fighting?
Ooh, big day, July 2nd. Big day.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a watch-along for that one. Israel Adesanya against Jared Cannonier, and that's when Money in the Bank will be, so we'll be doing a post-show for Money in the Bank while we do our UFC 276 watch-along, because, honestly, if you ask me what promotion has the best pay-per-views, what promotion has the best events, it's not AEW, it's not WWE, it's the UFC. They have the most consistent events, consistent quality, and again, I keep saying it, but they don't oversaturate their market. They do shows once a week. Once a week! This was like the third WWE show I watched this week. Why?
There was NXT pay-per-view yesterday, I think.
I didn't watch it. I saw that they were doing a pay-per-view last night. I was like, oh, NXT pay-per-view. Oh, interesting. I started watching it, and I swear I was like, you know what? No.
Forget this.
I can't. It was like Toxic Attraction. No, it was Mandy Rose against some girl in pajamas. I swear to God, she was wearing pajamas. I don't know who she was. It doesn't matter who she was. She doesn't matter.
Pajamas.
I swear to God, there was a girl in pajamas. I could tell you her name.
It's a hell of a gimmick.
It was whoever Mandy wrote. Wendy Chu. She was wearing some kind of like pajamas, and she was wrestling Mandy Rose, and I watched like a minute of it, and then I said, you know what? This is terrible. Why the hell am I watching a man? I was like, oh, Mandy Rose, she's the champion. Maybe I should watch her. And then I'm like, wait a second. I've seen Mandy Rose before. There's no reason to watch a Mandy Rose match. This is the champion. I remember NXT when they had, Charlotte as champion, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Asuka, They had some pretty good
Shayna. Shayna was a dominant NXT women's champion.
They had some pretty good women's champions in NXT, and now it's Mandy Rose. So I didn't watch the pay-per-view, the NXT show last night, and I know I was like, oh, I was doing something, and I was like, oh, I'll watch something, and I went to go to the NXT thing, and I was like, no, and then I swear I either watched like the UFC countdown. I might have watched a countdown show for Glover Teixeira and Yuri Prohaska. I think that's what I watched instead, because I'm hyped for that pay-per-view on Saturday. See, this is what WWE and even AEW need to work on, is getting their fans, because I'm a fan of WWE, I'm a fan of AEW, and I'm a fan of UFC. Like, I don't favor one company over the other. There have been times in my life where I've been like, yeah, UFC's all right, but WWE's where it's at right now. Like, there's been times where I've been like, UFC's all right, but AEW pay-per-views, oh my God, right? But now it's like, nah, UFC pay-per-views right now, like, I'm a fan equally of all three. I really am. I'm not, like, I don't care. I don't have skin in the game. You know what I mean? So, I just feel like UFC right now is doing the best work, and they have something that WWE doesn't have and AEW doesn't have, and it's my anticipation. I am anticipating Yuri Prohaska and Glover Teixeira because it's a main event fight for the UFC light heavyweight title, and I cannot wait to see it. It is a big fight. It's been built correctly. I didn't have to do a bunch to build it. It's like, here's Glover, here's Yuri, here's their story. Watch the countdown show. I'm not going to tell you. If you want to watch more, I'll preview the fights Thursday at 8 p.m. here on the Ringside Report Network. But goddamn, I'm hyped for that fight on Saturday. It's like, oh, shit. Once it cut, like, is Glover going to win? Is Yuri going to knock his ass out?
Is
Glover going to take him down and choke him out? Like, what's going to happen here? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. And I'm so pumped for that fight. And I was not, like, when I remembered this morning that it was Hell in a Cell, I was like, oh, shit, Hell in a Cell.
Here we go.
Gotta sit through this thing out. Edge and his friends. That's gonna suck. Like, I was just, like, not excited about it. And even the AEW pay-per-views these days, I'm not that excited about it. The CM Punk Hangman Page main event did not do as much for me as, Glover and Yuri. Like, that's a mega fight. So, WWE and AEW, they need to work on that. Building up their pay-per-views to make it some shit that we really want to see. Because, man, the UFC is doing a good job right now. Angelo agreeing. Doug Hepburn agreeing. AJ agreeing, of course. I just think the UFC's on fire. I can't wait to do that watch-along next weekend. UFC 275, Glover Teixeira, Yuri Prohaska in Singapore. Holy shit. Yeah, but it'll be live our time, 10 p.m. Eastern time for the pay-per-view. Valentina Shevchenko against Tyler Santos, co-main event. Don't sleep on Tyler Santos.
Joanna versus Zhang Weili?
Yeah. Yeah. Joanna and Zhang Weili. See?
Jesus.
There's nothing on Hell in a Cell that makes you as hyped as the third from main event. Not even a title fight, Joanna Zhang Weili. You know what sucks about that fight? Is that it's not a title fight and it's only 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Because their last fight was 5 rounds and it was bananas. But this one is 3 rounds, so it'll be interesting because it'll be different circumstances.
It's explosive. They're just gonna lay it all out there.
I'm looking forward to that fight, of course. Of course.
Joanna champion.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Zhang Weili, Valentina Shevchenko, Tyler Santos, and Yuri Prohaska, Glover Teixeira. Boom, boom. That's all you need.
It's a hell of a
money.
Bill.
That's big pay-per-view. Man, Dana White. Dana White, man, he's doing it big right now. Best promoter in the game today.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's,
look at his press conferences, compared to Tony Khan's.
Yeah. I mean, you hear about Dana White partying, but, he waits until his job is done to do it.
Work hard, play hard.
Yup. Jeez. We love you. We love you, Uncle Dana. I'm the number one. I am the number one Dana White fan in the world.
Tony Khan eyes.
Hey, it's me, Tony Khan.
Hey.
Fuck you, Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, you don't know anything. This man right here.
My best friend, CM Punk.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go, CM Punk.
Yeah.
My best friend. He's not my friend. He doesn't just take my phone calls because I pay him. We're friends, really.
Yeah. But he won't party with me.
Jesus.
I keep asking him.
God. That press conference was like my whole vision of Tony Khan just crumbled. I was like, oh no. He's fucked. It's like, I was like,
he is a fucking mark.
Yeah, he was just like, oh no, mark. He really doesn't have a hold of this.
Yeah.
He's fucked. I was like, shit, man, because you never saw that side of him for that length of time.
And it worked really hard to craft an image that he was this wunderkind, just Alex Wright type, just controlling everything.
It crumbled before your eyes.
An encyclopedia of wrestling kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, he is a nerd of wrestling, which is all fine, but there's something else going on.
Not necessarily someone you want running a company.
No. Nope. There's a reason why Cody left. He got out, And AJ says Dana is always working. Yeah, on the UFC. Tony Khan, he's working on a football team, a soccer team, a wrestling show, another wrestling show. It's like,
how's that work?
Dana's always working on the UFC, and he does damn good work. All right, guys, next time you see me, I'll be talking about the UFC, and I'll be giving you more winners. I gave you big winners for the fights yesterday, and I'm going to give you more winners for UFC 275. I've started to do the research already. I've already watched Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. The first fight, again, I watched it today, so I'm already starting to research. We're getting ready. We're giving you our picks. And again, I know I was saying Valentina, but I got to do a little more research in Tyler Santos because I'm starting to wonder.
Oh, yeah?
I'm starting to wonder. I don't know if Valentina has faced the level of competition of a Tyler Santos in quite some time, if ever. Tyler Santos may be the best challenge that Valentina has ever faced. She may be the most dangerous opponent that she's ever faced. So I'm interested. I'm going to watch a few more Valentina fights. I'm still leaning towards Valentina Shevchenko because she's one of the greatest champions, if not the greatest champion in UFC history. She's on her way to perhaps becoming the greatest champion, but she's got to beat Tyler Santos. Valentina Shevchenko, when she is all done, her career, she may be the greatest champion in the history of the game. She's
saying something.
She's that good.
Especially now, like, there's a lot of careers where it's like, yeah, that person had the greatest career. Maybe this person had, there's enough fighters now.
Valentina may be the greatest female fighter of all time, but it's tough because Amanda Nunes has done a lot, but if Valentina can keep going on this pace, we'll see. I'm very excited to talk about UFC 275 because we have some great fights coming up on Saturday, and we will preview that Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Ringside Report MMA on the Ringside Report Network. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here tonight to our Hell in a Cell post-show. Appreciate you. Thank you to Harold Schneider. You are our Super Chat leader of the night. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Doug Hepburn, for your support as well, dropping a Super Chat. Go Yankees, Doug. And thank you to Angelo Contagonis, dropping a Super Chat as well. Great show, guys. Thanks for this. Well, thank you, Angelo. We are doing our best, working hard here for you, and we appreciate you guys supporting the Ringside Report Network, pro wrestling, and mixed martial arts. And my God, are we killing it on the MMA picks. Like, our parlays are just cashing in and week out. It's kind of crazy. We are on fire this year, and we've really put a focus on the parlays and the betting, and, and it's, like, working. Like, we're really...
Yeah, you could pick them.
We're good at it.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
It's like you're advertising for free money.
I struggle to make money myself on it.
You're like that Matthew Lesko guy, he's like, I'm giving away free money.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. But,
the guy with like the suit with the dollar signs he used to advertise.
No.
Never that guy?
No. All right, guys. On that note, go Yankees, and I will see you again Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Ringside Report MMA, and then I'll be back Friday night at 10 p.m. with Johnny North for more pro wrestling talk right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.